First up tonight, you may remember on the show last year, we spoke to underwater photographer Steve Hathaway about a once-in-a-lifetime encounter with a pyrosome, otherwise known as a sea worm. It's one of the rarest sea creatures in the world. This amazing footage taken off the coast of White Island grabbed headlines worldwide. So when Steve got in touch last week to say, hey guys, I've captured something even more incredible and I want to bring it into the project, we said, yes, do it. Just 35 kilometres off the coast of Northland, Steve and his crew were out on the harbour doing their thing when out of the blue they were approached by two unusually curious giant manta rays.
Cool.
Who seemed keen to play up for the cameras too. They even pulled off a perfect barrel roll at one point. Now, while they're more at home in the tropics, these graceful sea creatures will often follow sea currents to our cooler waters, but they're not usually known to be this playful with humans. Here to tell us about his experience, please welcome Steve Hathaway. Hi.
Can I say kia ora, Steve, first of all, and say I love how you feel good about just ringing up and saying, dudes, I've got something wicked to show you.
Yeah, thank you for
Well, you're awesome to deal with last time, so I thought we'd have a lot of fun tonight.
Fantastic. Look at these giant screens behind us.
What, I mean, we know stingrays and things. What's so great about these manta rays, Steve?
Well, they grow up to about 7 metres long. They're oceanic wanderers. And New Zealand is about as far south as they'll go in the world. So we're really lucky to have them as occasional visitors.
7 metres, that's like twice the length of this desk. That's hard to believe, hard to visualise.
Out here, huge. Yeah.
How do you find them? Like, it seems so random. Guys, let's go out 35 kilometres off the coast and see what we find. I mean, how do you jump in the water? You must come up with nothing a lot of the time.
Yeah, well, I'd heard there's mantas out there at the moment. And I've got a tower on top of my boat, so I had my 15-year-old son. He took the day off school. Facebook Live, never do that on Facebook Live.
Right.
His teachers follow me. And he was up on the roof, and we're heading out to the Mokohina Islands. And he was about to come down, and all of a sudden he saw these white shapes turning around, and we raced across, and there was two mantas.
Incredible.
So then you jump in, and what happens then? Do they like getting close to humans?
Yeah, well, it just depends on what they're wanting to do. Like an animal like this, when they're doing something like that, it's them leading us into their world. So we weren't chasing them. We'd get in the water, and occasionally they'd come and check us. And over 3.5 hours, they got more and more and more friendly. So it was insane. Never experienced anything like it.
And I bet you're not scared of anything, obviously. Are they dangerous?
I'm not scared of anything, but no, this is a pretty hot moment. You know, it's like I'm just absolutely buzzing and making sure the red light's recording.
And they're not dangerous?
If one jumped out of the water and landed on top of you, you'd probably just like a double bed getting dropped on you, so that would hurt.
Like me at the Parnell pools.
Hey, do you know much about their personalities? Are they an intelligent animal?
Well, mantas have the biggest brains out of any fish and incredibly intelligent. So they've been recorded to do some very clever things around the world. But one thing I noticed was just the male at the back that's just swimming over top there, at about the 3-hour mark, all of a sudden he got really curious about me, and instead of just swimming by like he'd been doing for 3 hours beforehand, all of a sudden he would just turn his head and he got this big eye just checking me out, and he was taking it all in. It was incredible. He actually ditched the female for me. It was amazing.
So now you're getting married.
Is this valuable footage? Like, is it rare to see this? Will you be able to sell this? Is that kind of your bread and butter?
Well, first and foremost, I think some of New Zealand's best stories have never been told, and they're going to come from the ocean. So a lot of people don't realise this happens in New Zealand. So to be able to document that and say this is what happens off our coastline, and it's just as special or even more special than what happens on the land, is really important. But there's some interesting behaviour going on. That's a pregnant female, and the male was bumping on the back of her. And males have been known, there's been known to have manta trains where you have a group of males that we're trying to induce the female to have the pup so they can mate with her. So it's pretty interesting to see this in New Zealand. Really cool.
There was a lot to take in.
Yeah, it was a lot, wasn't it?
So he bumped her so that the... Oh,
Don't think about it too much.
Let me ask you this. You spend a lot of time on the water. What does the ocean do to a man, Steve?
Yeah, if my wife answered this, I think she'd actually say it actually makes me a better person.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Good.
Fantastic.
That's a good answer.
I like that answer.
You can have the worst day in the world and get on the ocean and I feel totally alive.
And if you're looking for a voiceover guy to help talk about the manta rays, give me a call.
Okay.
Exactly.
That's not going to happen. Great footage. Please thank Steve Hathaway.
Steve.